Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. In the last episode we defeated Volvagia, the boss of the Fire Temple, and this episode, well, we're going to be doing some classic in-betweeny, episode-y, grabby things. We're actually got, well, you know, I was going to say we've got two of those, but technically this one is actually less of that than the next one, so you'll see what I mean hopefully. For now, we got some advantages of our Megaton Hammer that we acquired. These silver blocks that can't be blown up with bombs can be destroyed with the Megaton Hammer. This isn't where I thought it was. 3 business scripts. What the fuck? Where are we this? Oh, I guess... okay. I went for the wrong one. So yes, brown blocks can be destroyed by bombs, but these silver ones can only be destroyed by the Megaton Hammer. They take 2 hits, one to dislodge them and one to actually hit them. This is what we wanted. Indeed, there is another Great Fairies fountain here, so you know the rigmarole. Welcome, Doctor. I am the Great Fairy of Wisdom. I will grant you an enhancement to your magic power. Receive it now. So this is quite a handy one, actually. She doubles our magic meter, the entire thing. So, you may have noticed, magic really doesn't come up much in this game. You have a magic meter, but almost nothing uses it. So Din's Fire, Aurora's Wind, those kind of spells use it. Other than that, we actually haven't, I don't think, got anything that uses them at this stage now. So having a double one, I guess, is useful, but it's not like we've been lacking for magic recently, so it's a slightly strange one. Anyway, there's another, oh dear. Anyway, there's another little secret here. Well, not really secret so much. So if we break that, this basically gets us away out to Death Mountain, as if we were... Wait, what? Yeah, also interestingly, you know how I mentioned, like, the Fire Temple has 2 kind of, like, craters? There they are to the left and right there, so it's kind of like, it's the Fire Temple is in those rooms, because obviously you go to it ahead there, but you have to drop down to get to it, so mildly interesting. Anyway, if we proceed out this way, well, you may, from this look, actually recognise where we are slightly. I really thought this was going to warp sooner than it did, but it didn't. Indeed, this gets us out on the top of Death Mountain Trail, near where the other Great Fairy was. 2 of them live in there. It's quite strange. And here's something interesting as well. Introducing the aptly named Bigoron. My brother opened a new store. It's Medigoron's Blade Store. However, I am better at making blades. Hylian carpenters praise me for my skills. I'm not lying. So, he is key to the quest for reforging the giant knife into a more durable version, but we won't be doing that for now. We've actually got 2 things to do here. First off, we need to head down here, and if we break this boulder here... Oh, idiot. First off, let's play the Sun Song. There we go, I was wondering where that one was. There's a Skulltula there. Finally, if we head down to the kind of bit overlooking Dodongo's Cavern. Oh, balls, we might just get this in time. There's a second one here, and there we go. I was worried it was going to be dawn before we got here, and it was bloody close. Now, it's time to... Actually, that was all of our gathering for now, because there's something else I want to do, really, before I can get on with anything else. This, by the way, from here, this is how you can do kind of slightly jakey jump up onto the roof of Dodongo's Cavern and get that, like you do that, and that's how you get the heart piece here without the bean. Anyway, what we need to do is actually progress on a little bit. So, it is time to go to Zora's domain. So, I'm going to start by actually heading to Zora's River. Is it worth walking back to the castle town with the Prelude of Light? I don't know. Ugh, getting there is always... Zora's River is just a kind of awkward one to get to directly. So, there's a few things that are different here. Well, there's one main thing and then some minor ones. One of the minor ones is this bean plant we planted here has grown, which gives us a shortcut through much of Zora's River, but we actually want to hop off it here. onto this kind of plateau, because there's two useful things up here. Number one, I've not really shown these off before, but occasionally underneath these boulders you get a fairy fountain, which is just full of fairies. And they're always guaranteed to have fairies in, so they're a nice place to come to regenerate your fairies. I actually don't want to do that. I was going to load up, but we need several bottles free for something shortly, so... The other thing that's up here on this plateau, I think you can only get this from the bean, is obviously it's at night, so that means you know probably what it's going to be. Indeed. Little bastard comes out of the wall there. This is another gold skull dollar. Final one to gather is just a little bit further up Zora's River. Indeed, if you kind of come here, then you will find him up the wall there, and you should just about reach him. And you may notice something slightly strange. In the air, specifically, it is actually... Oh, do I need to actually be standing on this? I think I do, don't I? Oh, balls! That wasn't standing on that. Oh, yeah, that's the funny thing as well. Zora's River's just not... It's just deep enough for you to just walk around in as an adult. Now you've got the long legs of the adult. That was a really weird phrase. I'm just going to try and grapple this then. Oh, balls! I didn't even mean to do that, but that actually worked out pretty well. But yes, you will notice it's snowing. Which it wasn't here before. Let's actually head up and into Zora's domain. Oh dear. Zora's domain is completely frozen over. Indeed, if we stop moving, I think Link starts shivering and sneezing. It's a shame, it actually does look really pretty here. But obviously, this ends about as well as you expect for the Zoras. There are none around. There is, for example, if we go to the shop, it's blocked by this really cool looking kind of red crystally stuff, but we can't break it with the sword, with the Megaton, like nothing breaks it. Well, one very specific thing breaks it, but that's what we're getting to in a second. So if we go up here, well, we've got two things to see here. Number one is King Zora. He's here, but he is also frozen in red ice. Oh dear. And secondly, if we come to the side here, there's a cheeky little sculpture to get, which is a really easy one to miss. And also, oh yeah, by the way, if I stop moving, yeah, ice physics is a thing. If we sneak over onto the edge of this waterfall here... Oh, it's daytime, isn't it? There we go. So you just got to poke your head out, and to the left there is a little sculpture. Really easy one to miss, and not an easy one to actually get. So, King Zora is frozen, along with most of Zora's domain. How to free him? Well, that requires going to a place that we couldn't get to as a child. Fortunately, he's frozen out of the way of this, so we can just walk through to the then again strangely unfrozen Zora's River. Zora's fountain, even. So it's snowing out here, but actually the water here isn't frozen. It's only frozen once it hits Zora's domain, which is slightly weird. Lord Jambu Jabu, completely gone. He's never here as an adult, and no explanation is ever given as to where he goes. I guess there's some assumption maybe Ganondorf just, did him in. But he's certainly not here. And these icebergs. Oh, I'm guessing if I fall off I can't easily climb back on. Oh, I can. Oh, cool. So, this is one of the easiest heart pieces to get in the game. You just jump over these two, and it's right the fuck there. Oh. I'm guessing this one I can't just climb onto. No, I didn't think so. Oh, and there's an Ox Rock there as well. Oh, God. Right up the jacksie. Thanks, camera. You're really helpful here. There we go. But yes, except for the fact that I fucked it up, that's a relatively easy heart piece to get. And that gets us another heart container. We've actually got most of the heart pieces in the game. I think that's 36 total, and that puts us onto, like, definitely the high 20s. But where we actually want to go is over here. So this place is here as a child, you just can't access it because the water level is the same, but in order to get to it here, we have to have been able to jump over this ice. Entering, time for a mini dungeon. So, this is the Ice Cavern. And you can see it's got that kind of red ice as well around it. It's got various icicles that will fall off and try and skewer you. And I call this a mini dungeon for a reason. It very much is one. Ooh, time for a new enemy. So, these freaks are freezers. Watch out for its freezing breath. Destroy it completely before it revives. Indeed, if you stab it briefly, like bits will fall off it, and they can regenerate themselves entirely, and they have ice breath, which freezes you solid. Nice straightforward way to kill them is to grapple over to them and then whack them a couple of times. Because the grapple not only brings you over to them, but also... Ow! Also does damage them, so it's quite a handy way for moving around. Let's kill this final one. So having killed all three, the doorway opens. And so yes, this is a fully functional dungeon in the sense that it has a dungeon map, it has a compass, has all that kind of nonsense, but it is very small, as I'm going to do it all this episode, pretty much. So, this is the spinning blade room, obviously. And you've got this blade that tries to slice you up. And you've got silver rupees. These only really appear in the later game, or in the kind of mini-dungeons, and you need to gather 5 of them to do whatever it is they do. As you can see, dodging this blade is relatively easy, because it moves really, really slowly. And also, if you want to super dodge it, you can also just crouch by bringing your shield up, and you will just slide underneath it every time. So I've got 4 of the 5 silver rupees, and the 5th one is up here. I'm going to get minced. Oh, how did I dodge that? That doesn't seem right. Anyway, if we gather this final one, then up where we just were opened, and you can also see my other target for now, there is a Skulltula up there. I'm going to get sliced in the head. Yep, knew it. You haven't got this one's a bit tricky to get because you've got it. Yes, there you go. You haven't got long to aim before you inevitably get nailed in the head. But there we go. So now we need to proceed through that new way we've opened. There are 2 other doors that come off this room, but we can't access either of them yet. So you've seen the red ice around, and we're about to get our way off. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, a jump attack normally works quite well. Why didn't I do that? So that's normally my way of doing it. Yeah, I grapple and then jump attack them. There we go. So, introducing ice keys as well. Good. So they're like fire keys, except they ice you instead of firing you. And they're just as annoying and just as hated by me as fire keys are. Oh, this would be better with a bow and arrow, wouldn't it? There we go. Let's try and hit the other one just before he becomes an irritant. How well does the bow and arrow work on freezers? Not, it turns out. Oh, bloody hell. Well, I was trying to get to the freezer, but hey. There we go, that's how you take freezers out. You do a kind of grapple and slash. It's quite cool. Anyway, this is what I wanted to get.
This blue fire, it doesn't seem natural. Maybe you can use it for something, but how can you carry it?
We'll deal with that in just a second. Let's take out this final freezer. Yeah, that's it. So if you just hit A as you do it, then you do a jump attack automatically. So, blue fire is carried in a very odd way. You put it in a bottle. Indeed, you got blue fire. This is a cool flame you can use with a button. So this has, the main function of this is to burn through red ice. And you'll encounter red ice throughout this dungeon to the point where I'm loading up. This is pretty doable with 3 bottles. You don't really need 4 bottles of blue fire. But anything less than 3, you do have to do a little bit of backtracking. Anyway, what we want to do immediately is, you'll notice there is a chest up here, so let's defrost it and open it up. So, as I said, this is a fully functional dungeon, and as such we have a dungeon map. You can see now the size of the map. It's not huge, there's 3 more rooms, really. So, let's head back to, well, I'm going to reload my blue fire, and let's head back to the spinning blade room. So, there's now kind of like 2 ways we can go here, because there's 2 bits of red ice blocking the ways out of this room. I'm going to take this one to the left first. That's actually the one that leads on the map, so down and to the right, and correspondingly to the dead end. But there's actually 3 useful things down here. So, there's more blue fire, so we can reload nice and easily. Fire keys, not fire keys, ice keys. Or, I always want to call one of them a coos, and I know it's not. So, you've got a chest there, that you may have seen. You've got a heart piece just nice and out in the open, which is quite handy. And then dead above the heart piece is... Wait, what? I can hear the fucking thing. Where is it? Oh, it's on the pillar up there. I knew it was nearby, at least. We've got a Skulltula, so definitely worth coming to this room. And finally, well, so we've got a point for recharging the old blue fire, which is possibly necessary. Let's kill these pricks before they become prickier. And I can't be asked to switch out stuff in my inventory, so I'll just grab this blue fire here. And of course this chest contains the compass. Right, now I'm going to reload my blue fire and once again head back to the spinning blade room. So there's of course one final route that we haven't taken yet, which has also got red ice in front of it. Red ice and blue fire, it's all a little complicated to keep track of. Anyway, melt through that and we can proceed through to the rest of the dungeon. So other than these little wiggly windy corridors, we only really got 2 rooms left. We've got one puzzle room and then one, well, you'll see. So this is another silver rupee room. And so basically we have this block that slides around. So if we push it forwards, hey, it goes forwards, and then we can climb on it. So doing so, you can grab some of these silver rupees around the place. Oh, ice keys, ice keys! I hate them. I hate them just as much as fire keys. Except for the fact that they are in the game less frequently, I think, overall. And so yeah, so you can only really push this in straight lines. I didn't oh no, I did reload my blue fire. Excellent. Because so you need to first come up here, and we've got 1 silver rupee. Now there's a second one in here. Now the other 3 are around the place relatively easily. But we also do need a little more blue fire. I will explain why in a second. So, this block is essentially stuck where it is and you can't pull it. But if you just push it off the side, it resets back to where it initially was, which is handy. There's a Skulltula off to the side here, which we can grab as well. So there's 3 Skulltulas and a heart piece in here, plus the one outside, so it's worth scouring this place quite thoroughly. Here we push it that way. Then that way. Then this way. Is that where I wanted it to be? Let's find out. Because, yes, that gives you a nice supply of blue fire here. Let's make a jump. There we go. No problem. So let's grab both of these. I don't think I actually need these, if I'm honest. Basically, you got to use blue fire throughout the dungeon, and there is one final use of blue fire. Well, it's technically 2 uses of blue fire outside of the dungeon. Because there's the shop and there's King Zora, both of whom are frosty boys, and blue fire is needed to free them from that. Have I just bollocks this? Well, I mean, no, I can get a silver rupee, so, oop! What the? That was a strange angle on Link that I never really needed. Let's climb up, grab that one. And can I get the final one from here? I think that's a no in that regard. Oh, bugger off. So, wait a minute. Yeah, I thought I might be able to make that. Finally, the... Oh, bloody hell. So that bit is open there, but we need to get this block to this part with the kind of fissure on it in order to complete that. So, speeder on, please. I think I know how to do it. And Nintendo does so love their sliding ice puzzles. You'll notice there's also those red rupees in the air there. I don't care enough for rupees, but if you play the Song of Time there, a time block appears underneath them, which is what Navi's indicating there, and you can go up and grab them. Anyway, with that done, we can head through to the to the final boss of the Ice Cavern. Yes, it does, technically speaking, have a boss, and it's a slightly unusual one. It's actually... well, you'll see shortly. So, you need a bit of blue fire to open this here, and then, yeah, I've got 2 more. One for the shop, and one for King Zora. Though, technically, you only need to do one of them. I don't really bother doing King Zora. This is a trippy room. And houses the only one in the game of the White Wolfos. And it's a completely standard Wolfos, to the point where you can use that little trick that I was taught by the comments of just backflip and stab. Does it in one hit. Thank you once again for that. That has made several things far easier. And so we get the item, the reason we came here. There's 2 reasons. Number 1 was to get blue fire so we can defrost King Zora, which gets us something anyway, but this chest contains its own special reward as well. You got the iron boots, our first set of shoes, other than those we started with, obviously. So heavy you can't run, so heavy you can't float. We meet again, Doctor. If you came here to meet the Zoras, you wasted your time. This is all there is. With one exception, the Zoras are now sealed under this thick ice sheet. I managed to rescue the Zora princess from under the ice, but she left to head to the water temple. This ice is created by an evil curse. The monster in the water temple is the source of the curse. Unless you shut off the source, this ice will never melt. If you have courage enough to confront that danger and save the Zoras, I will teach you the melody that leads to the temple. Time passes, people move. Like a river's flow, it never ends. A childish mind will turn to noble ambition. Young love will become deep affection. The clear water's surface reflects growth. Now listen to the serenade of water and reflect upon yourself. I really like this one. You've learned the Serenade of Water. Doctor, I'll see you again. Well, she's mysterious as ever. So, the iron boots. You equip them like an item. So, this is a very important change they made to this game. Previously, they were in gear, so if you wanted to equip them or unequip them, you had to pause, come to this gear menu, and put them on or off. That became very time-consuming. Now you can just click to put them on and off quickly, and that is important for what we're going to do in the next few episodes. Advantages of the iron boots. You move around really slowly, you're very heavy, which means you can sink. Look at that. But you can't breathe underwater. If you start to run out of air, take off those boots. But let's just head out. You will notice with that little underwater door, it now brings us back to the very beginning of the cavern, which is great. So let's head outside. It's actually nearly time to finish the episode. And there's one final thing to gather here before we finish. If we head down, so much like being somewhere really hot, being underwater, you have a limited amount of time, but it's proportional to how many hearts you have. So we can spend a whole 2 minutes underwater, which is pretty damn good, and grab ourselves a sneaky heart piece at the bottom of Zora's fountain. Oh, and I do really like how the water looks in this episode. In this game. Yeah, very nice. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. We came to the Ice Cavern, and we got some blue fire, and we got ourselves some sweet new shoes. Next episode, we will be Thoring King Zora, and then we will be doing our lovely side quest to reforge the Giant's Knife. Hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day.